guys, Tiana Nicole here, and welcome to BehindTheJourney.com. I want to talk about something today that's happened to me in my life. It was really one of the biggest milestones, and then it was my greatest disappointment. And so I want to talk about managing your disappointments in life. I know that we all just can remember a time when we had such these big hopes, these big dreams, all these great things were supposed to happen, and then nothing happens. Nothing at all. And you're just broken. Your spirit's broken. I know for me as an entrepreneur, my spirit was broken. And I was just so devastated. And I had to pick myself back up. And even if it's just the littlest things, right? I mean, even if it's someone saying they're going to do something and they don't do it. If it's someone saying they're going to be somewhere and they're not there. I mean, all those in relationships, right? Even like in personal relationships, your significant other may say that they're going to make a change and they're going to do this differently and that differently, and you hope for those things to happen. And then when it doesn't, you become disappointed, right? You just become disappointed. You lose the love. You lose the inspiration. You lose the drive. And that happened to me. It happened to me in my personal relationship, and it happened to me in my business. And so right now, I'll just specifically talk about what happened with my business. Now, I'm a big, huge advocate. I'm just someone who is obsessed with working on myself every single day. Now, for me, that's reading books, that's listening to tapes. And someone that I've admired for a really long time, I know his story inside and out. I am obsessed with him. I remembered his rap when he had a chance to get on the radio, and that's the great Les Brown. Now, when I was transitioning from really being a full-on networker, face-to-face, belly-to-belly, making all these cold calls, and I was transitioning to not doing that anymore, that was kind of on autopilot somewhat, and I wanted to transition to do something different and start branding myself as an entrepreneur and reaching towards, I would say, bigger dreams and goals that I had. I started to reach out and to ask different entrepreneurs and successful people that I looked up to, if I can interview them, right? I mean, the fastest way to get from where you want to go, to where you want to go, is to interview people who have been there, done that, and bought the ticket, and then learn from what they've done, and then duplicate it, right? I mean, it's not bad to be a copycat, just copy the right cat. And so I idolized and I wanted to emulate Les Brown. I think that he's just a great guy. And I said, you know what? I just pulled up the courage. Now, this was something that I had to work on and had to really mentally prepare myself to do, because I knew it was a long shot. I knew it was. And when you have these big goals, these big dreams, you know, you just got to go for it. You got to stretch yourself, and it's going to be ridiculously uncomfortable at first. And so I felt so uncomfortable, because at the time, I barely had a website. I didn't really have any interviewing type skills. I mean, I had my magazine. I did interviews with different artists, entertainers. But, you know, to reach out to someone that you've idolized for so long, it made my stomach turn with massive butterflies. But I found the courage and the will and the drive to email the great Les Brown. And I said, hi, this is who I am. I want to interview you. And I got no response. I didn't get any type of response for, I think it was like the first 2-3 weeks, no response. And I kept checking my email, and I'm like, ooh, Jamie Tardy responded, so I knew I was interviewing her and she's great, she's just awesome, she's been on CNN and everything else. And so I said, you know, I'm going to get a response just as quickly from Les Brown. I expected him to respond, but I was also very nervous, because, I mean, I was going to crap myself when I actually interviewed him, because I was so nervous. It's like interviewing someone that you've admired for so long. And so one day I'm in the Starbucks drive-thru ordering my cappuccino, and my phone rang, and it came from an area code, and I knew it was Las Vegas, and I said hello. And when I said hello, just a very soft, gentle voice that I had recognized after countless hours upon hours upon hours of just reading and listening to his audios and his YouTube videos and reading the books that he's written. The voice sounded vaguely familiar, and I remember it was really cool. I remember when he answered the phone, and when I answered the phone, I said hello, and the gentleman said, "Hi, may I please speak with Tiana Burst?" And I said, "Well, this is she. Who is this?" He goes, "Hi, this is Les Brown." Oh, all right. And I said, "I'm sorry, like the great Les Brown?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Les, can you just hold on one second? I'm driving and I'm about to crash. So I need to pull over real quick," because I was shaking. My hands were shaking. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. And I always, in my mind, I was like, when I talk to him, when Les Brown and myself, when we get together, I'm going to recite his exact rap that he did on the radio, and I'm going to show him that I am his biggest follower. And of course, I stumble upon the rap. I mean, it was so clear in my mind, like mentally, when I knew I was going to rap this song, and then when I came out with his, like exactly what he did on the radio, it just came out like a hot ass mess. It was just awful. And so he starts laughing at me, and we start talking, and he said, "Well, I heard that you want me to do a speaking engagement and I said, "Well, no, I just want to interview you." And he said, "Okay, great." So we started communicating, and he said that, "You know what, I really like your energy. I really do. Let's go ahead and connect in a few days and get that done." And now I'm excited, folks. I mean, this is the guy that I wanted to interview for so many years. I admired him. He's got me through. His story has gotten me out of emotional just ruts that I've been in as an entrepreneur, and so this was the guy. I mean, it was awesome. Which takes me back to why I did this message. Because even with someone that is as big as him, you have to manage your disappointments, and I had to do that with him. And I remember the next day my phone rang, and it said Les Brown. And I was like, "It's calling back again." I mean, it was like the next day, less than 24 hours later. And we started talking, and he said, "You know what? I want you to be on my speaker's bureau. I want you to speak. I have a speaking engagement coming up, and I'm going to email it to you, and you tell me if you want to do it." And I'm thinking, this is it. All the struggling that I've been going through, my business going up and down, just all the challenges that I was faced with. After 7 years, this was it. This was that moment. Like, this was the moment that I had been waiting for. And I felt like everything that I did, every challenge that I faced, every shitstorm I've gone through, it was all worth it, because in this exact moment, this is the phone call. I was going to change my life forever. This was it. And I got so excited about it. And I remember calling my other mentor on the phone and telling him, and I called a few of my associates and I told them, and now everyone's excited, like, "I knew it, I knew it," and now I'm excited. And then the email never came. And the phone call didn't return. And I left messages, and there was no return phone calls. And so, you look at everything right now, and I was so disappointed, because I had put out to everyone that this was going to happen. I talked to the great Les Brown. I'm going to be speaking with him. This is amazing. And it hasn't happened as of yet. And I haven't got another phone call from him. And I haven't been able to interview him. And he hasn't returned any emails. And he hasn't returned any phone calls. And so I wanted to do this message because I still greatly admire the great Les Brown. I listen to him all the time. He is someone that I will forever just give credit to for my success in my journey. But that had to have been one of my biggest disappointments in my life. Thinking that this was it. I had struggled enough, and my struggling days were completely over. And this is the phone call I've been waiting for, and I had enough courage to even reach out to him, and that was the biggest message. And then to be disappointed was beyond the word that I can use for how upset I was that what was said didn't happen as of yet. And so in life, in general, personal, financial, business, you're going to endure so many disappointments. And it's not really about, being upset when things don't work out as are planned or as someone says. It really is about just knowing that this is just one extra story that you can use for your personal journey. And there's a message there, which is, doesn't matter what goes on, just keep going. Because you don't know what phone call, what video, what person can be that catalyst to get you to where you want to go. And it may even seem like it's that one person that you've admired and respected forever, and that this is it. And if it doesn't happen, which it didn't happen with me as of yet, it's okay, because there is a greater later. And as long as you can keep your head up and keep moving forward, you know what? Your disappointments are just stepping stones to your success.